The sign of Sagittarius isn't a hidden danger. It's a danger everyone sees, but no one takes seriously. That's the truth. They are the hunters of the zodiac, with their arrow pointed at the horizon, always searching for new truths, new adventures, new horizons. But what happens when that arrow, which should point to the future, turns against you, driven by a force few understand? Today, we'll debunk the myth of the cool Sagittarius and reveal the most ruthless and destructive side of this sign. What I'm about to tell you goes beyond superficial astrology. It's a journey into the soul of an archer who, when he loses his aim, can wreak catastrophic havoc on his life and the lives of everyone around him. Get ready, because the image of the good-natured and adventurous Sagittarius, is about to be transformed into an unstoppable force of nature, with the potential to destroy anything it considers a limitation to its infinite freedom. Have you ever wondered why Sagittarius, such an optimistic sign, can be the most terrifying when it loses control? The answer lies in its ruler, Jupiter, the planet of expansion and abundance. Where other signs are content with what they have, Sagittarius wants more, always more. More freedom, more knowledge, more excitement, more experience. And when this pursuit becomes blind and uncontrolled, an explosion is inevitable. They become dangerous not by intention, but by the impact of their need to go beyond. This is the time to unveil the 7 scariest dangers of Sagittarius, the ones no one dares to discuss openly. 1. Blind over-optimism and destructive gambling. While other signs deal with reality, Sagittarius ignores it, sublimates it, or reinterprets it. They believe so strongly that things will work out that they construct an alternative reality where failure simply doesn't exist. But by ignoring the danger signs and the voice of reason, they become a ticking time bomb. Sagittarius doesn't see the iceberg because they're too busy contemplating the beautiful horizon. And when the ship of life sinks, they take everyone on board with them. Sagittarius's danger isn't malice, but pure and simple irresponsibility disguised as unshakable faith. They won't hurt you on purpose, but they will put you in a dangerous situation through sheer negligence and uncontrollable optimism. Sagittarius's blind faith is both their greatest strength and their greatest weakness. When directed toward utopian projects or ideas, it can lead to financial, emotional, and social ruin, as they risk everything, convinced that the universe is conspiring in their favor. 2. The arrow of harsh truth and the lack of empathy. Sagittarius is known for being honest, but their honesty isn't about being transparent. It's about using the truth like an unfiltered arrow. They don't mince words, they don't care how you feel, because they believe the naked truth is always the best option. For them, the truth is a tool of liberation, but it often becomes a weapon of mass destruction. They will tell you the most brutal truth about themselves or their life without hesitation. And they will do it with a smile on their face, without understanding the damage they've caused. The Sagittarian arrow of truth has no filter, no brakes, and when it hits its target, the damage is irreparable. They can destroy your self-esteem or undermine your confidence with a single sentence. And once they've done so, they'll move on without even realizing the trail of pain they've left behind. This lack of empathy isn't intentional, but a consequence of their search for a universal truth that for them is more important than individual emotions. 3. The false prophet and the aimless guru. Ruled by Jupiter, the planet of knowledge and philosophy, Sagittarius sees itself as the great sage, the teacher of the zodiac. They love to preach, sharing their truth and their philosophy of life, as if they were the only answer to all the world's problems. The problem is that their truth is based on their own experiences and their quest for expansion, and it doesn't always apply to everyone. They might convince you to drop everything and go to Thailand because it's the best thing you can do for yourself, without regard for the financial or personal consequences. They become false prophets who, out of sheer self-confidence, give advice that can ruin other people's lives. The danger with Sagittarius isn't deception, but being so confident in their own knowledge that they become blind to the danger they pose to others. They can lead you down a path that for them is freedom, but for you could be perdition. 4. Emotional escape and the inability to take root. Sagittarius hates being restrained, and this applies to their emotions, their commitments, and their relationships. When life gets tough, when problems become serious, they don't face them, they run away. Instead of dealing with the pain, they mask it with a new adventure, a new trip, a new passion, or even a new project that keeps them too busy to think. The relentless pursuit of freedom is actually an escape from responsibility and pain. When you need a Sagittarius by your side, they'll be somewhere far away, searching for something new. And when they return, the problem will still be there, but you'll have to deal with it alone. Sagittarius's inability to ground themselves and deal with complex emotions makes them a terrible partner in times of crisis, as their first reaction is always to walk away. 5. The centaur's kick and uncontrolled impulsivity. Sagittarius is the centaur, half man, half horse. The human part is philosophical, seeking knowledge and truth. The animal part is wild, impulsive, and unbridled. When the animal part takes over, they strike without thinking. They are not malicious, but the blow is strong, and the pain is real. They can wound deeply with a word, with a thoughtless action, and once they do, they move on without even realizing what happened. Sagittarius is the sign of freedom. But this freedom can become a prison for those around them. They can make rash decisions that affect everyone's lives, such as buying a plane ticket for a last-minute trip, canceling an important appointment without warning, or even leaving a long-term relationship on a whim. Sagittarius's impulsiveness is unchecked, and it can lead to serious and irreversible consequences. 6. Lack of sense of limits and endless expansion. Sagittarians don't know when to stop. In everything. At a party, in a project, in an argument. Jupiter's rule makes them want more, expand, go further always. The problem is that this search for expansion has no brakes. They throw themselves headfirst into an adventure, a new idea, a new relationship, and don't stop to analyze whether it's safe, healthy, or sustainable. They don't see the consequences of their actions because they're blinded by their optimism and the pursuit of a greater experience. This lack of boundaries not only puts them in danger, but also those close to them. They might convince you to spend all your savings on a project they're sure will work, or to enter into a relationship with someone they feel is the right person, without considering the risk or consequences. Sagittarius's lack of boundaries is their silent danger. 7. The destroyer of bonds and the cost of freedom. Sagittarius' greatest quest is freedom. And to achieve this freedom, they are willing to destroy anything they consider a prison, a stable job, a serious relationship, a financial commitment, a long-standing friendship. Sagittarius doesn't hesitate to cut ties to free themselves. They don't want to be trapped, and if they feel they are in a captivity, they will take it down, no matter what stands in their way. The image of the hunter, with their arrow pointed at the horizon, is the image of someone who is always ready to cut ties and move on. And often, they leave a trail of destruction and broken hearts behind. For them, the cost of freedom is the most important thing in the world. And if necessary, they will leave you behind without looking back, because for Sagittarius, the horizon is more important than the safe haven. Sagittarius's dangerous potential isn't an innate tendency toward negativity, but the direct consequence of a limitless pursuit of freedom and expansion. They are the adventurers of the zodiac, but this adventure, when blind and unbridled, can become a force of nature that wreaks untold havoc. The same energy that makes them the most optimistic and inspiring can also become the most irresponsible and destructive. Sagittarius can inspire you to go further, to be freer. But they can also convince you to jump off a cliff, kick you without thinking, and abandon you when things get tough. So the next time you meet a Sagittarius with their radiant smile and free spirit, remember, behind that smile lies an archer who isn't afraid to take the shot. If this video made you see Sagittarius in a different light, comment below. Which of these dangers have you witnessed? And which sign do you want us to expose next? Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos where we'll reveal the secrets of all the signs. Hit the bell to be the first to know when a new video is released. After all, the zodiac has many more secrets to reveal.